Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wednesday Call Live. Now, let's hear from our host, Andy Albright.
Hey guys, how are y'all doing? It's what is her name? This girl, Maddie, and you're Danny. Hey Maddie, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Andy. How are you?
Good. Do you normally jump on these calls and pay attention to what's going on with the company?
I'm on every single meeting. I like to see what's going on. Want to learn things from all the people that are successful already. So, yep, every meeting.
Where do you live?
I live in Florida, in the Tampa area. So I actually have gotten to meet Gina Hawk. She lives down the street from me. I've gotten to meet like Eric Hazard, Brian Rojas, Michelle Jones. Went to a hotspot out there and got to meet all of them. So that was really awesome.
Is it Matty or Maddie?
These.
Okay. What's your last name, Maddie?
It's pronounced no. The G is silent, so it's NGO.
Okay. And are you making money with us already, getting paid by the insurance companies?
Oh, yes. I'm getting paid by the insurance companies, and I do have some override checks coming in as well. So very grateful for that.
Good. How do you like the override checks?
I don't know who couldn't like an override check. I think the more important thing to say that I like is just being able to change other people's lives. That's the part that I like the best, but extra money never hurts, right?
I've never had too much extra money. I've always tried to get more. There's just things that I want. I see it, I want it.
100%.
You know what I mean? It's not complicated. Yeah, I like the override checks. That's my favorite.
Yeah, they're definitely good for sure.
I like the one-time checks, but like if I could just think about them coming in over and over, I get more excited.
I definitely agree with that. It's like a roller coaster getting to the top, but you never go down, right?
Right. I think. I'm not sure. Your analogy making might be similar to mine.
I did grow up in Florida, so the southern stuff is, yeah, we definitely do a lot of analogies down there.
I feel like it made no sense whatsoever, which is the way I feel about my analogies sometimes. It was nice to meet you. I don't think we've met before, have we?
No, but we'll meet in a few days. Excited.
How do you say that last name?
Just no. The G is silent.
Like no.
No.
Okay. Like yes in the Philippines. No.
Exactly.
See what I'm saying? All right, everybody in the world, the Alliance world, this is Maddie No. Get your mind right, because you're getting ready to see her rear end and her elbows when she passes you. Is that a fact, Maddie?
Yeah, I would say I'm trying to do this as quick as possible in the right way. So,
like you see, like if I'm turned around like this, which puts you behind me, and I'm moving like this, you're seeing rear end and elbows. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, that's what I meant. You hired her? Good job. And who hired you? Oh, you gotta use this mic. I've got one right here, see?
Sarah Seifert.
Use that one. Sarah hired you directly?
Direct, yes.
Did you tell everybody who you are also? They don't know you yet.
My name is Danielle Ross. I'm direct to Sarah Seifert. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Do you go by Danny more than Danielle?
I do.
How do you spell it when you say Danny? In your mind, how are you spelling that? Is that with a Y or an I or an E or
an I,
a C or a G? You can put a G on the end and then that's not even say it. You get a D-A-N-N-G.
I for sure.
You go with I?
Yeah.
Okay. And you said something else about a girl. What? Huh? Never mind. You was explaining why you say it that way.
Oh, it's the girl version.
The girl version.
Yeah.
I guess that's okay for you to say that. Danny, D-A-N-N-I, girl version.
One N.
Oh, one N?
Yeah. No G, one N, and an I.
She's sober. You can't say all that drunk. Okay. All right. That leaves Maria. Hey, Maria.
Hey, Andy, how are you?
I'm doing good. And how are you?
I'm doing great.
Did I meet you in California?
No, Andy Albright Intense Training.
What? Say what?
At the Albright Intense Training?
Oh yeah, Albright Intent, the AIT.
Yes.
I remember you there. I remember you. I just couldn't remember you where. Oh yeah, we had you up in front of that down at the
At the cabin?
yeah, the cabin too. Oh yeah, you're the one standing out there at the cabin going, I ain't never seen nothing like this.
Yeah.
Tell everybody what you saw, that you ain't never seen nothing like that. Try to describe it to them.
Yeah, no, we were headed there, and I remember just like coming in, and there was this huge land. There was like these beautiful ponds, and it was just so nice. The cabin was like, I don't even know how to explain it. I just never seen anything like it, and the weather was beautiful. I just remember seeing like the sunset coming down, and then all like these amazing people were there. And I'm going into the cabin, and you're just looking out, and you're just seeing like the beautiful land and pond. And I just like, I guess I was never exposed to something like that. I lived in Tampa, Florida, like my whole life, and just seeing like the countryside of things was very, very beautiful.
Okay. Have you been to this place of which she speaks? My stenographer does not translate nods of the head. Okay. You should go. You would like it. So, Maria, congratulations. You're off to a really good start.
Thank you. Yeah.
You've had some good weeks of sales, correct?
That's right. That's right. Yes, Andy.
Just give me a couple of examples of that.
Yeah. Well, my name is Maria Reyes. I've been with the business for almost like 2 months now, Andy. And my team kind of like instructed me on how to get out there. I've been following the system. The first week was in June, and I went out. I sold about like 2 policies. Brian Rojas and Luis Salgado were helping me through the process. At first, I didn't really know what I was doing, but I know that building that connection with people was very important. And so I was like, okay, let me do what I know how to do, and then I'll let them help me out with the rest. So I was running appointments from like 8 a.m. to like 7 p.m. And it was a little difficult. It was scary, but I just kind of went in there and just tried to build a connection with people. Some people was a little bit easier and smoother. And then some of them, I just, if they didn't want the help, okay, let's move on to the next.
Okay, remember what we were talking about as examples of numbers. So the first month, 2 sales. Give me another week, or give me some numbers, some facts and figures. I hear what you're saying about the some are up and some are down.
Yes. So in the second week, I set up about 32 appointments, and I was able to sell 4.
Okay.
On the third week,
are you doing virtual or in-home?
I'm doing in-home.
Okay. All right. So you made 4 sales.
Mm-hmm. And then on the third week, I did about 30 appointments, and I got 5 sales out of that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And so on average, I was making about like 29 to 30 appointments, and I was selling about like 5 applications.
Okay. Are you looking at your money coming in, like being deposited, and thinking about paying your bills and stuff?
Yeah, but I'm kind of looking at the money. I'm seeing how I can invest it back in with like my leads. I got it set up.
What kind of job did you have before this?
Well, prior to this, I was in school studying architecture, so I was doing that, and then part-time I was working at the mall at a kiosk.
What school were you going to studying architecture?
I was studying at Florida Atlantic University, and then I transferred to University of South Florida.
Are you still at University of South Florida?
Yes, I'm working on my master's degree there.
Okay. It's a waste of time, but congratulations for doing that. That's way to go. There's nothing wrong with education. I want to make everybody clear I'm okay with it. It's a waste of time, but it's something to do, and it gives you a sticker you can use. So you would get a master's degree in architecture?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you know that Michael Weinberg has a degree in architecture from Duke University?
No.
Yeah. Do you know him?
No, I haven't met him yet.
He's married to Brandon Manley's sister.
Oh, okay.
What's her name? Brittany. So Brandon's sisters, Brandon and Brittany, B&B, brother and sister. And Brittany is married to, and yeah, bang, bang. And Brittany is married to Weinberg, who was an architect, which is what you're studying to get that sticker for. Okay. What's your undergraduate degree?
In architecture.
Okay. Maddie, do you have a college background, education background, or just high school or technical?
Yes,
college?
I do have a college background, Andy. To be honest, where I grew up, you either got pregnant or you worked at a restaurant. So going to college was the better option.
Okay, wait. Worked in a restaurant or got pregnant?
That's pretty much everyone I went to high school with. So going to college was better, and it wasn't a waste because it got me away from the environment. But I don't use my sticker.
Where did you grow up?
You're right.
Sounds like a peculiar place.
It's in Volusia County, Florida. It's in the same county as Daytona Beach, very commonly known, but it's a 5-mile wide little city. So
did you say you ended up working in a restaurant and not getting pregnant? Is that what you said?
I did not want to continue working in a restaurant, and I did not want to get pregnant.
So you went to college?
I went to college.
Where?
University of Florida. Gators.
Is that Gators?
Yeah, it's a Gators sign. I could see your wheels turning up there.
It's Gators, and what's the other ones? Seminoles?
Seminoles, yeah. Those are the two big ones.
Florida State Seminoles and Florida Gators.
You got it.
Gotcha. And it's up there in the Panhandle.
Panhandle is going to be Florida State, and then Gainesville is like middle of the city, and that's where I went.
Nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. So I went from middle of nowhere to middle of nowhere, but educated.
And what degree did you get?
I studied tourism, hospitality management, and finance.
Is that like 2 degrees or?
It's like a combination degree. So it's really just one.
Okay. How about you? Education stuff.
I was in the process of completing my bachelor's. I am no longer. I have my associates in science.
That's a waste of time. But what were you studying?
Science.
Science?
Biology, yeah.
Biology, yeah. Biology science.
That's correct.
Did you want to be like a scientist?
No,
or a school teacher?
It was one of those things where somebody tells you should do that, and so you say, okay, right?
Say no more, I understand. That's the way I do things. Okay. All right, so welcome everybody. This is the Wednesday call. We shorten it. We call it the TWC, which seems repetitive because it'd be like the Wednesday call, but nobody really calls us out on it. I promised to answer some questions or cover this. Do you ever feel like you're ever getting in your own way, like you're surrounded by the right people in the right company, but just something's not working and you can't figure out why you're not moving forward? I don't hear that problem from y'all three. Y'all don't have that problem, do you? Like where you just feel like you're getting in your own way and you just can't figure out how to move forward. I feel like y'all are moving forward and you're not having a problem with that. What say ye to that comment?
I feel like there's moments, but you don't have to let the moments stop you in your tracks.
Moments. How about you, Maria? Moments?
Yeah, no, I definitely get those moments, Andy. I feel like a lot of it has to do like just where I grew up. Like I feel like sometimes I was told kind of like what Maddie was saying, like I had that stereotype of like, okay, you're not gonna make it out, you know, you're a Latina woman, like you're gonna get pregnant, this and that, right? So trying to like push that out and like not let that affect you is like, okay, you can win, you can do this, and you can succeed. So it's like, I think everyone has those moments.
Thank you. All right, Maria. How about you? Any comments on that subject, Maddie? Getting stuck?
Honestly, yeah, I'm sure we all get stuck, but realistically, you get rewarded for action, not inaction. So the faster you can get through that stuck point and keep it moving, even if you got a flat tire, just keep on, right?
Yeah. So I get that question a lot. I really have listening to it. I've been listening to it less and less, but I still get the question a lot, and you can't fight it. And usually it's for people a little bit older than y'all that have been through more stuff. I know y'all feel like you've been through stuff because of where you grew up. How about you? They all commented about where they grew up. How about you? Where did you grow up?
In the South Valley, Albuquerque, New Mexico.
In New Mexico. So you don't have that problem over there. Where did you say, Maria, did you grow up Miami area?
Tampa.
Tampa. That's worse. Okay. All right. So the best way you can get unstuck is to find people that are not stuck. Because like if you're stuck up in your car in mud up to the axle, and there's another car beside you stuck in mud up to your axle, they're probably not going to be able to get you out of the mud because they're stuck up too. You follow what I'm saying? So you need to find somebody that's not in their own head, in their own way. Now, ideally, if you find them in your hierarchy, like you hire them, they're in your group or they're on your team. And so then if they move, you move up also. The other thing you want to be careful of is, let's say you're confused really bad, like a biddy in high weeds. Yes. Think about a little bitty chicken that tall, and there's weeds this high, like a lot of weeds. So like every step he hits a weed, and he has to look up like 4 times taller than he is to see the top of the weed. Now can you see how lost and confused the biddy in high weeds is? Another example would be a termite who has worked his way into a wooden yo-yo. And so as it goes around and around and up and down, and he's trying to get deeper into the yo-yo, he's confused. Y'all look very similar to this termite would look right now. He would look very confused like y'all. Okay, so if let's say you're that person, confused as the termite or the biddy, and then you hire somebody like these people who are not that confused, they understand. Try not to mess them up. This is critical. Okay? Now, let's say you would like to fix your position and you hired somebody like this. Make sure you don't cause them problems by getting your head case problems into their head. So make sure you try to zip it and not say too much. You with me? Okay, and then your downline who are doing really good, just kind of nod like this. And then when you see what they're doing, copy that. Now, let's say you have not hired any good people in your hierarchy. As a matter of fact, the people you've hired are more confused than you. You with me? Okay. Well, don't ask them what to do. Look around and find other people that are not stuck and confused and in their own head. Okay? Tracking with me? Then do what the people that are doing that are not messed up in the head. You see what I'm saying?
Tracking.
Okay, well, I feel like we've answered that one. All right. You have override checks coming in, correct?
Correct.
From people other than Maddie?
Correct.
How many different organizations or how many different spots do you have money coming in? How many different franchises have you started?
3.
So 3 are working?
Yes.
Have worked. I'm pulling it up just to verify that you're not making this up. You know what I mean? Because people make up stuff all the time on me, and I'll be like, I'm trying not to. Okay, how about you, Maria? Do you have any overrides coming in yet?
And not Andy. No,
You say not yet?
not yet.
But you're calling all your friends and people, Maria, right?
Yes, and I was actually starting to call some of like our Spanish community as well.
You are starting to call
Yeah,
your Spanish community or everybody's?
everybody's. Yeah, anybody I can get in touch to. Mhm.
Okay. Do you have any of your friends in class?
I have 2 people in class, and then 2 are getting fast tracked this week, and then 1 already has her license.
The 2 that are fast track, they're not in class yet?
No, one of them has their license, and the other one's not in class just yet.
Is it a lack of funds that they haven't paid the money, or is it they just don't want to, or we just hadn't had time to schedule it? Which is it?
We just haven't had it. I just brought them that opportunity on Sunday,
Okay.
and so we're going to get them fast track.
You have an agent number? What is it? Okay. 09. Okay. Let's see if that works. 526-097. There you are. Ross, R-O-S-S. So, did I say this? Y'all come on in. Okay. How people overcome these exact problems. So I do want to, if anybody jumped on to hear that lesson, how do you get unstuck? It has everything to do with your plan. So like if I put something in my calendar, it's like rock solid. I'm going to do it. If I don't, I'll end up doing it tomorrow or the next day or later. And so what happens is the longer you get stuck in one place, then the harder it is to get out of that one spot. So the sooner you get out of that one spot, it's going to be easier to move to another spot and you don't end up stuck. And so the way you do that is you schedule things like, for example, the person that you do not have in class, I would text them and say, hey, when is a good time that we can get in front of a computer today in the next few hours? And then they set it on the calendar. Then you get on there with them at that time and get them licensed at that time. But if you don't do that, you're kind of stuck and they're stuck because they're wondering what to do next. And then you're wondering what to do next. But if you look at your calendar and you see all the things you got to do, you with me? Okay. So getting unstuck has to do with a plan. And so today's Wednesday. So you start with an overall goal, whatever you want, get rich, become an agency manager, not have a job, to be able to get out of the terrible living situation you're in and go live in a better living position. Because you get a overall idea, and then you like what you want. That's the first side of the coin, what you want. And then what you do is start brainstorming ways to get out of it or change your position, get unstuck. But then the critical thing is that you start doing the items that need to be done on that list. Because you can't focus on getting unstuck. That makes no sense. But if you focus on making 17 phone calls, then that makes sense to your mind. Focusing on being unstuck. This is a real off-the-wall weird analogy, but the concept is this. I know the answer to this, and as you build your business, people are going to ask you questions. How do you do this? How do you do that? So one person came to me and they said, how do I get this guy off of pornography? He just watches it all the time, television, his phone. He's just addicted to it, right? And I was like, all right. So I knew the answer, but I still want to check. So I called this preacher guy and I said, remind me, how do you get people off porn? He said, you can't. And I go, that's what I thought. You can't. It's just too powerful. Okay? So what do you do about it? You get them focused on this as opposed to that. Like you can't, it's like getting unstuck. You can't get unstuck. You can't get him off. But if you get him pointed, you say, hey, you ever heard about Jesus? Hey, you ever thought about getting stupid rich? Hey, you ever thought about going for the gold ring? So what happens if you can get him focused on the gold ring or focused on Jesus or focused on getting rich, this over here gets overpowered because this is where his focus is. So what you can do is rattle some sticks or bells and whistles and get somebody's attention. Hey, hey, hey! Like let's say John Davis Bang Bang is about to get attacked by a lion, and the lion's growling at him. You can't stop that lion. But what you can do is like, hey, hey, hey! And then the lion comes after me, and then you're saved, right? You see what I'm saying? So now here's what people say to me, Mary. They say things like, well, that's your opinion. I go like, yeah, and every major psychiatrist, psychological person, sociological, every person that has any intelligence about how things work, say that's the way it works. How do you think it works? And you know, some people actually give me an opinion after I tell them that all these people said that, then they still give me their opinion. And I go, you deserve to be stuck in jail or a padded room or something. But in America, where's Erica? In America, they just let them live around you. Everywhere. They let them get your food, waitresses. They let them drive mechanical vehicles. You call them Uber drivers. You know? Cooks. It's unbelievable what they allow in America. Okay? Is this helping? Maddie, did this help?
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is legit stuff. But I don't know if people can take what I'm saying and use it. So it's not just this that you can't get them unfocused. It's practically anything. But if this doesn't entertain them enough, they're going to go back to that. So if whatever this is. So like when I'm trying to get a person to build a franchise or a hierarchy then I try to make it interesting for them so that they keep doing it. Because I don't want them to go back to whatever the thing was they weren't focused on. So if it's you that has the problem, then you need to make something, advertise something, rattle something, saber rattle, stir it, make some bells ring to change your attention and get interested in this as opposed to that, because you can't get unstuck, but you can refocus. Does that make sense? And then you can stay focused, which means you don't go back. I mean, I ain't trying to offend nobody with none of this, but I know I do. And I don't care really. Huh? It's like, like I said, no offense intended, but like these people that quit drinking, God bless them, but they won't shut up about it. You know what I want? You know why? Because they're scared they're going to go back. So they keep rattling it and saber rattling and screaming and shit, and you're like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So you're focused on this and not that. Why you keep talking about that? Can't we just talk about this? But they're in a mental game to stay away from this and get into this. Does that make sense? So whatever the unstuck or whatever the stuckness is, you need to do like them boys that got out of the drinking sticking thing. You know what I mean? People write whole books. There's a book. Right in there. If you go in that room, about if you walk like this right here, about like this right here, about that high, about right here, there's a book right there, and it's a whole book about quitting drinking. I mean, just a whole book like that thick. It's white mostly, a little blue on it maybe. It's right in there. It's just a lot of other books. I think you'll see it. See if you see it. It's just amazing. Right beside the bourbon.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm not mad at this guy or that girl. I'm just saying. I'm telling you how the head works. The psychological part of it. Okay. So let me tell you this. Maria and Maddie and Danny, it's better to find people with less of these problems to build your business with. Because who wants to be a psychiatrist for all these people? He found it. Look at that. In no time flat. Look at this. Look how accurate. Well, yeah. So it's mostly white. 30-day sobriety solution. How to cut back or quit drinking in the privacy of your own home. What does that mean? Huh? Who bought me a bunch of probably Jeff. I mean, it's just unbelievable stuff in here. So whatever you're stuck, this person's stuck with drinking, somebody's stuck with porn, somebody's stuck with chocolate. I had this friend, Snickers bars. I'm going to tell you what, that boy's hooked on them Snickers bars. Woo! He's a different story. Okay, so this book you could use to get you unstuck on anything. But it's a lot of technology in there. So everything in here that's getting this person unstuck, because you could get unstuck. Now, Maria and Maddie and Danny, you need to read a lot of these. I've not read this book. I was thinking about it yesterday when I was looking at the shelf in there, and then I was like, nah, because I got other books I'm reading. So when you read this book, you're going to hear what I told you, which is you can't fix it, but you can refocus. You're going to see that theme in this whole book. Okay? So let's say you find a person who's not stuck, but they're willing to go somewhere. That's when you need to give them some clear directions on where to go. Okay, so I gave you clear direction in front of everybody at Albuquerque. I was so clear, people were getting nervous. You remember that? You're going to have to hold that mic up. Can you remember to hold it up so I don't have to keep telling you over and over again?
Yes.
Okay, I appreciate that. It's taking up valuable time in my show. Emmy, y'all appreciate it if she just do it without me having to tell her. You raise your hand like this as a show of agreement.
Made them do that. It's okay.
Well, if I made them do that, can I make you hold your mic up?
Yes.
Okay, you see how that's clear direction? That's what people don't do with their people, Maddie. They're not clear with them. They don't make a big enough deal about the little things. They don't make enough deal about the little things, and then all the little things is like a bunch of snowflakes. And the snowflakes pile up, and then their downline spinning in it, and then mix in some mud and gravel, and you got a shit show. You know what I'm talking about? So the little things pile up to where they can't get out of it, and then they start hating you. So you need to be very clear and very specific with people. And that's the way I was with Danny in Albuquerque, and it stirred a lot of emotions in me and other people. I see you moving it back up close in case I ask you something. I like that. I'm going to compliment you for that. It's very good. I saw you had a peripheral. All right, so would you explain to them as best you can, with a specificity can, what I told you to do being a new person? And Maria's heard this too. Maddie has not, unless she should have heard it from you. I think I said make it painfully, obviously clear and distinct. So can you tell them a little bit?
Painstakingly go through your contact list.
That's what I said.
Reach out to everybody you know.
Well, tell them what go through it means.
Text, dial, call, talk to your Uber drivers, reach out to literally everybody in your contact list painstakingly.
Have you done that yet?
Yeah.
And is Maddie somebody that came from that, or did you already had her before we had this discussion?
Yeah, Maddie was April, correct? Maddie?
Yeah, I think I signed my agent agreement at the end of April, but I didn't start selling till mid-May. So,
what kind of work were you doing, Maddie?
Previous to life insurance, so I did a little bit of life insurance with a different brokerage first. But previous to that, I worked at JP Morgan Chase for a few years in a few different roles.
Did you like JP?
I did. It was a great job. I just knew that no matter how hard I worked, I would still be at the same, level. Getting above $200,000 is not very easy in a corporate job. So.
Okay. All right. So there's your different legs you're making money off of, right? So you are correct. That third one's.
They're nubs.
The third. The third one, it don't have a comma in it, but it does have a dollar sign in front of it.
It's a little nub.
Okay. All right. So are you doing what I've told? Okay. So I told her this. I'm going to tell you all this. Maria, I've told you this. Maria, you're doing what I'm saying. You're doing what I've said to do, correct?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Tell them what you're doing. Very specifically, what are you doing to recruit?
Yeah. So I've been text dialing and calling all my people in my contacts, and then I get together with my uplines, Brian specifically, and he's been, having them on the phone with me. And I actually went to a convention this weekend for church. So I just took advantage and I started to talk to everyone at the convention. And I was like, hey, what are you guys doing? Turns out one of the guys that I've been trying to connect with, he has his insurance license. So I'm trying to get him on board. So just sharing the opportunity with anyone.
So you're talking to everybody. Are you, and everybody in your phone, are you texting them? What's a typical message you're texting people? Can you read one of your texts that you're sending out to people?
Yeah.
Have you heard some of this, Maddie?
Sorry, what was the question?
Have you heard some of this before?
Yeah. So Danny did inform me kind of what her experience was at boot camp when you spoke to her. So, I am reaching out to people as well. I'm just using previous relationships, though. So that warm market, just checking in on how they're doing. They can see how I'm doing, so they automatically ask. So I'm just showing people what the lifestyle looks like, what opportunities are out there.
Okay. So if you don't do this with people, Erica, like you're going through a lot of people that you think are borderline human being, like they might not quite qualify or they're just barely over the qualifications to be a human, right? Okay, if you're not careful, you'll get a person going and then you just teach them how to sell because you think they're broke. And then the next thing you know, they get a job, they marry a rich guy, they get burned out. Like the stories are endless how this is going to end. But the one thing that's for sure is it's going to end. Okay? Do you know what I'm saying?
I do.
What am I saying?
It's bound to end.
What's bound to end? A dead end is bound to end.
Right.
Because if you hire a person and they don't hire anybody, it's going to end. Okay? So what you do is in the beginning, you're relentless on this networking. Like you just cannot stop. Okay? And what happens is you create unbelievable options with your team on who to work with. Because if you start working with a person that's a moron, a jerk, has no gratitude, they're complacent, they won't listen to their wife, they have no ambition, and you're frustrated with them and you ask me what to do with them, well, how'd you get them? So you squished all the toothpaste out of the tube, and then you come running to me talking about how I get this back in there. And you want a simplified answer. You don't want me to give you a whole book about it, how to get the toothpaste back in the tube. And I'm going like, what did you do that for? So on the other hand, if you do what I'm saying, Maddie, and you get 10 or 12 different places to work, 10 or 12, now all of a sudden you can pick the easiest places to work, and everybody thinks you're a genius because the places you work grows and blossoms. People are like, would you talk to my person? And then I look at their person and I'm like, I can't make your person do nothing because they're stuck. You see what I'm saying? So the key is not getting people unstuck. It's finding people that ain't stuck. Not educating people that can and showing them how to read and teaching them words. That is not going to work. I'll give you a perfect example. Well, I don't know if it's perfect, but it's an example. Okay? Ben Carson's mama couldn't read, and she's tricking the kids that they think she can read. And she makes them read. Well, they're young, and they can read. So they get better and better. One of them goes on to be this famous engineer person. Another one goes on to be this famous neurosurgeon who did brain surgery, two brains connected together, and he cuts it apart and something, and they live. The mama learns how to read when she's old. You ain't heard nothing about her going on to be nothing, have you? You know why? Because somebody done skipped her and down here working with Ben and the other guy, and now they're growing. You see what I'm saying? It's like you go around the problem. Yeah, you go around the problem. Just making any sense? Now I'm gonna,
Yes,
Okay. Is it helpful at all?
it is.
You're going to hear it over and over and again. I've been doing this 30 some years. Insurance 25, building teams. And people don't get it. And people don't get it when I'm talking about them. They are the problem. They're stuck. But when they see all the stuff happening around them, and they're trying to figure out how this is working and how this ain't working, meaning one leg or two legs is working, how come 4 and 5 legs ain't working? Because you ain't working them. Somebody else, nobody else working them, you ain't working them, but somebody else is working this depth. And I'm telling you, to become the person that's doing that is connecting with people on the very specificity of how to get another person started. So I'm not screaming Mary and Taylor and Nicole and Madison. I'm not screaming to Patrick, but my recruiters, please God, tell me you're hearing this. You ain't never going to make it hiring one person. Until you get everybody you got, and Brandon Manley, until you got everybody you got looking for one more person, it's going to be very difficult to be a massive organization. Because if you're the only persons that's hiring them, Chambers, then nobody, if you're the only, that's addition. You need multiplication. You need multiple people hiring somebody. Okay. All right. There was another question that I want to make sure. Do y'all have questions, by the way? Because y'all are really got fast-growing organization. You should have good questions. Don't shake your head too quick, Maddie. Maddie, here's the reason. I got to come back. I got to come back to Andy Andrews. But Maddie, here's the reason you don't want to say no to questions, because you should be thinking of 5 or 6 questions that you want to ask while I'm talking. Because if you're listening to me and not thinking of questions that you want to ask, you're not going to be impressive when I say, do you have any questions? Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
So if I'm at a seminar, if I'm at an integrity meeting, or if I'm at a seminar, I'm thinking, what questions do I have? Because questions interest you, and it's things that are interesting to you. So if you ask a question, it takes the conversation in a direction selfishly that's about you, which is really who you care more about than anybody in the world. Since you went the restaurant college as opposed to, I've got a baby and he loves me no matter what. It's called unconditional love because they don't have another mama. What are y'all laughing at? Y'all know what I'm saying, but Maddie, do you know what I'm saying? I got to come back to Andy Drifters. That's a lot of why they have a baby. It's because somebody will love them. Because they're not getting so love from the mama and daddy and the uncle and the auntie. So they get a love from a boy, and then they get a love from a child.
We'll get there one day.
Psychiatrist, psychology. Don't take my word for it. Ask a psychiatrist. Whew. These books are really good.
Your books are really good.
What's that?
Your books are really good.
They are. Which ones in particular?
Well, obviously the 8 steps. We all got to start there.
I know.
I'm currently reading Inside the Circle You, and then I'm also currently reading the red one. You know the one.
Yeah, I know the one. That guy helped write it.
That guy.
He's right over there.
But yeah, they're good.
So like, here's the kind of thing. Like, if you're telling the person how to get unstuck, I took an extreme shortcut and said rattle something or ring some bells and distract them and keep them distracted. Well, this is the in-depth psychiatric strategy. You list down all the things that you might be important to you, like accountability, authenticity, creativity, fame, fortune, happiness, humor, joy, loyalty, patience, privacy, security, status, tolerance, and wealth. And what you do is you rank them, Madison, you rank them according to what's the highest priority to you. And it turns out if the highest priority to you and the lowest priority to you creates a person you don't like, so if this like if you're going to make a food and you put salt and pepper and cinnamon and arsenic and cabbage, you with me? Mix it all up. Try to taste it. You go, I don't like that. Oh, what ingredients did you pick? Why didn't you put some ribeye? I don't know. Okay, so here's the ingredients: achievement, comfort, accountability, dependability, family, fun, health, influence, justice. So if you take something on here and put it at the top, and then the 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the things you don't care nothing about, they're way down here. So if you look at that person and you don't like them, then what you got to do is change your priorities of things that you love. It's like, I love pepper. Okay, what else do you love? Could we put in this mixture of a person you've created? Because if you love passion, I got this friend, he a passion. Matter of fact, we called him the passion one. Let me just tell you, he should have modified it a tad. Spirituality. So spirituality. Have you ever heard of this? He's so heavenly bound, he's no earthly good. He picked spirituality over success. He picked spirituality over courage. I'm spiritual, but I'm scared to death. I know, right? Thought you'd have faith. I have faith, but I'm scared. You with me? So you pick so this is a psychological mix of how to get unstuck and get to here. Look, you can see how thick it is. Like, if you can see, compare it, that's like 3 8-steps books. And littler words and not as many pictures as mine. Oh my God, look at the things in the back. God almighty, his damn permissions is bigger than my book. Look at that. This is the permissions list. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to read the conclusion, how to solve it. Okay. All right. So here's what I want to tell y'all also about Andy Andrews. Are you listening to audios? Do you remember which one you're listening to now? Like which one's pulled up?
Audible?
Yeah, on Audible.
Yeah, it's Jim Rohn's. I just texted you about it. The 5 Major Pieces to Life Puzzle.
That's a great book. Did you get the book also?
No, you said you bought them all up.
I did buy them all up, but then more of them become available.
I haven't looked since you said that. No.
Okay. I might have an extra one around here, but you're listening to the audio. Don't you love it? Don't you feel like if you could do those 5 pieces, you could do anything? But then you see a book this thick, right? Like 5 pieces book is like 1/5 of this, but more information than this.
It takes 3 hours to listen to as well.
But like, here's the problem. It don't cover all the stuff that's in this book. But it does cover it. Kind of like the thing where I said you just rattle something. It's the shortcut to the shortcut to the shortcut. So the 5 pieces is the shortcut to everything. Everything in life. You just do those 5 things. You like it?
I do.
So I'm listening to this one again. It's called Just Jones by Andy Andrews. I don't think you could ever ask Andy Andrews, you got any questions? He's going to have questions. Have y'all ever heard of this guy, Andy Andrews?
Yeah.
Jeff Bright said to me this morning, he is the best speaker you've ever had in as far as like entertaining and informative and full of stuff. And I tend to agree. He's one of the smartest people I've ever listened to. But I was listening to the end of his audio, and he was saying, the guy that's doing his audio work, listening to him, make sure he doesn't pronounce something wrong, or if he hears keys jangling, or hears his mic ticking or something, he stops it, because you don't want to be listening to a person's audio and hear, weird stuff. And he said he was talking to Andy about how he had improved his podcast, or how he'd improved his audibles, not his podcast, but his audibles. And he said he listens to a lot of other audibles, and he listens for things they're really good at and listens for things they're bad at, because he don't want to be bad at the things that they're bad at. Like, he's really, one of his pet peeves, I think, he don't like it when people say bream when it's a brim. Do you know bass? You go bass fishing and maybe catch some brim. And it's spelled B-R-E-A-M, but it's brim. But some people, these audio books, they'll call them bream, because they don't know what they're, and he's laughing. He's like, how does somebody not tell him? So the other thing that all 3 of you will gain from, one of the 3 of you needs to gain from this more than the other 2 of you. So one of the 3 should be like, he's talking to me. Okay? So when you listen to Andy, this is good for anybody, Chambers, is you listen to Andy Andrews' pronunciation and what do you call it, where he stops after the words? Nobody got nothing for me? Huh? Dramatic pause is a good example, but just they're different words. Like, here's the opposite, G-jet. Did you eat yet? G-jet. Enunciation. Enunciation. His enunciation is unbelievable. But he's not awkward sounding, but you understand every word he says. And it now, instead of trying to figure out what he's saying, you can focus on what he's saying, not if it was, did she say her name was Juanita, or did she say her name was Juanita? You know, like, what? So the more people are going, what? They're not going, oh, or they're not going, yeah, me too. You can't say me too if you don't know what they said, for sure. Okay? So you listen to these audios and then you try to mimic saying words the way they say words. It was something you got me started on that, Maddie, about listening to. I'm going to move on. Okay. Here's some good questions that people at your level could ask. You could say anything in particular that you would recommend while I'm up at the family reunion this weekend. You could say that. You could say, well, I already know the answer to that. And I go, oh, okay. So I'm like, oh, I didn't know you already knew the answer to that. But here's another question you could ask. How do we get the biggest bang for the buck this weekend at family reunion? If I wanted to get to know Chris Norris and Amber better, how do you recommend that? Or vendors, carrier vendors. How should I be handling that? That's something you could ask. Something down that line that you've never done before. Another good question will be like, so let's say I'm getting started, female, young, not married, no kids, had several good jobs, but never a business. What's some things that you should watch for, or some just kind of beginner tips on how to start a business and how to get the most money for my dollar, the biggest bang for my dollar, the highest ROI. Another one would be you could really grab my attention by saying, how's that grandbaby? How's that grandbaby doing? And is the grandbaby coming to the convention? You could get me all distracted because now you got me talking about something. Yeah, exactly. You're ringing the bell, so you got me distracted. But it'll suck me in. Everybody's susceptible to what they want to talk about. So you don't have to pick one of my examples. But I'm saying, do you have any questions, Maria?
I did, Andy, actually. I want to dig deeper with the Latino community. Who should I be looking for? Because I know that you guys will have some like sections off targeting more of the Hispanic. I know Olga Mathis is someone who I want to speak to, but anybody else who you would recommend and how to approach them?
What are you trying to accomplish? I know you try to meet somebody that's good in the Hispanic community, but what do you want to get out of it? What's the results you're looking for?
I just want to know how to recruit because I think it works a little bit differently. So that's why I want to see how they're recruiting in the Latino community.
Okay, so the way you should do that is let's find somebody really successful in that community and let's talk to them. So then how do we find somebody really successful in that community is going to be the next trick. So on your profile, on the ARC, I'm not going to go looking for it, but I'm going to ask Robbie Kraft and Tia to send out links or direct people. On that, you get to pick if you're a Hispanic asset or West African asset, or if you speak Creole. So then if I knew how many people are on our Hispanic team, then I could compare who's recruiting the most. But right now, I can tell you who's recruiting the most, but I can't tell you out of the Hispanic world. Make sense?
No, it makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, now, two very, very important people to meet is Lucero Diaz
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
that's right. What's her last name? Leslie Flores.
Oh,
They
Leslie.
are both corporate staff, both licensed to sell, both do sell. They both speak Spanish, and they know all the people in the Hispanic community. So they can say, this one's recruiting the most, this one's having great success.
Mm,
Does that
okay.
make sense?
Yes.
So they're the highest up in the tree, and they can see down and point to successes, and you can copy.
Got it. Okay.
And then if you're good friends with Lucero or Leslie, you keep in touch. And if somebody jumps up in another hierarchy that's Hispanic, they can say, oh, by the way, this person's killing it. You speak Spanish?
No.
You speak Spanish, Maddie?
I do not.
If I were you, Maria, I would be just as interested in the success of other young females
Mm-hmm.
with college degrees. You with me?
Yes.
Because there's success, because you might have a 52-year-old Hispanic guy, and he's having this kind of success. It's going to be hard for you to duplicate his kind of success. Don't get me wrong. There may be a technique or a tool that he's using you could copy, but this is kind of going to be the competition. It's kind of your people. You with me? So I'd kind of look at both. I'd be thinking along those plans. Not only the Hispanic, but people that are like you, your
Yes.
age, and successful. You don't want them like you and not successful. That's not a good plan.
Okay.
Is that helpful?
Yes. Very, very. Thank you.
Good. Have any questions?
I have two. Is that okay?
Well, let's start with one.
Okay.
I would
First-
recommend you ask the one that's most important.
Most important, aside from painstakingly going through your contact list, what would be your second top action item?
Okay. If you really want to get good, you gotta read books, hang around the right people, and listen to the audio. So those three things are just so massively important. Okay, for life changing. So when you talking to a person and you do care about them and you think they got some potential, aside from painstakingly explaining how they got to talk to everybody they knew, text them, call them, talk to them, they also need to painstakingly understand how important these three things are. Things like I will not work with you. Like I seriously, now, if you don't read and listen to audios and hang around with a lot of people, I will be stupid nice to you. I'll be, oh, you know, give you a big hug, tell you how great you are, pat you on the back, introduce you to all my friends. But as soon as I get away from you, you are not in my mind. I am not going to review your case and think about how to keep you from getting eaten by a python or a lion or another animal. I don't care. Because you're going to taste sour and they're probably going to spit your ass back out because you're such a nasty person because you ain't getting better. You're going backwards. You see what I'm saying? And so I'm trying to explain to you, I'm not going to deal with you. So if I could get you explaining that to all your people, and Maddie and Maria will got less dum-dums, and everybody will be heading this direction on the same page more. So I talk to people and I'll talk to their downline and I'll say something like, so what are you reading? And they'll look at me like, you know, like I've got a conjoined twin hooked over my shoulder or something, and I'm like, I'm looking for Ben Carson to do surgery because they're staring at me. And I'm going like, who's your upper group? Like, how could they be so far off that I ask a person what they're reading and then you go like, well, I was trying to get her to make some money so she wouldn't quit. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes.
So now when I get the feeling like that, it's imperative that I remember my own advice, which is work somewhere else. See what I'm saying? So like, let's say Nicole hired you, and then I say to you, what do you read? And you go, one of them. I look at her and I go, mental note, don't think about this one ever. I love Nicole. I'm just using an example. Let's use that like a person. But it's not a person. Let's use Jeff Bright. Jeff Bright. I would be like, I'm not talking to him no more. No. I mean, I talk to him. I see him, but like, I'm not going to tell him. I would never say, you tell her something again. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm like, this is the same dum-dum that didn't even talk to you about reading and audio and coming to associating with the right people. So what I'm saying is, if you can get people right at the lowest levels, then they don't start toppling over just 2 stories up or 3 stories up. That's the other thing. You feel like you know twice as much as you now know that also.
Yeah.
Okay. Maddie, do you have any questions?
Yes. How are you able to help brand new agents, like encourage them to be able to recruit before they know anything? You see a lot of people go, oh, well, I'll wait till I make money, or, oh, I'll wait till they learn something, they know what they're doing, whatever that excuse is. How do you kind of break through and give them that courage and to continue doing that, right?
Right. Okay. That's a good question. And it's not complicated, but it's also not one-dimensional. Okay. So you hire 12 people direct to you. You look down, and it's just a mishmash of dum-dum. Weight here, weight there, little weight everywhere. Right? Okay. What you need to do is sort them. Least likely to commit suicide. You with me? Most likely to commit suicide. You with me? You separate them out. Most likely to make 2 phone calls. Least likely to ever call his mama, even if he's lost. You with me? Mm-hmm. So you sort them. You tracking?
I'm tracking.
So then what you do is you lean on the ones that are more likely to do the positive things, not the negative things. Okay? But you don't let the one that you think is dumber than a rock, you don't let them think that you think that. Because you could be wrong, especially young and not doing this long. The one you thought was going to do nothing might be the one that does the most. So you sort them, and then you talk to your upline, like, who hired you? Who's your upline?
Sarah Seifert.
So you talk to Sarah, you talk to, and you go like, hey, I think this is my best. Okay? Now, so like I'm coaching you, I go like, tell me how come this one's not the best? And you tell me the reasons, like out of 12, like this one's ranked number 8, as in 8 worst, not 8 on the best side. And I go, why do you not like this person? And you go, here's why. Because she's done nothing I told her to do. She's not coming to family reunion, and she's moving slow through class. And I go, yeah, but it says here she's a nuclear engineer. You go, yeah, she's got this good job making $200,000, and she's just slow. Then I would say, and tell me again why this is your best person. And he goes, because she's doing everything I say. She sold 2 policies. And I go, where'd she go to school? He goes, I don't know. What book's she reading? I don't know. You see the problem? So you sort them, and then you talk to your upline about which ones are the best and why they're the best. Because the nuclear engineer, I would probably move to number 1, even though they've done nothing. And then the person that's done maybe already made 3 sales might be my 3rd ranked. Not because she's smart, not because she's selling. It's just I got nobody smarter than her. They're all dumb also, but these aren't writing. You follow what I'm saying? So you're sorting, looking for the easiest. Now, there's 12 here, and you just you can't, at some point, Maddie, you go like, I don't know, you almost go to start talking in tongues because there's nothing else left to do. Well, you need to hire 12 more people. Okay? Well, then now you got 24. Now when you sort them, you're going to see maybe the 14th person passes everybody in the first 12. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
All right. What'd you say?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. I thought you said that's a bet. Okay. All right. So now you also got to reflect on these 12 people. Did you painstakingly explain to them how 2 things? 1, they got to text everybody, call everybody, and painstakingly to read books, pay attention to hang around with, and who you listen to. Like, I don't know if my stats are right. Get Preston to verify this. Text Preston. He's probably listening to this. He told me that one of my guys in the builders contest, you get like 10 points. How many points you get when you hire somebody direct to you? 10. This guy's had 68 people direct him this year, and not one of them coming to convention. I know, right? If you hire 12 people and not one of them's coming to convention, or 14 people, I go like, are you painstakingly? You know what would be funny? If I found out that out of the 68, he had 9 of them hire 3 people, and then 10 of those people were coming to convention, and then I got head fake because it's none of the 68, but it's somebody under the 68. But what if he has none of the 68 going and nobody under the 68 going? I'm not like a brain genius psychologist, psychiatrist that can tell you everything that's going on there, but a average person can say that's a challenge. Something's wrong. So see how I said when you hired 12, Maddie, and really, you kind of frustrated, you hire another 12, and then you re-rank them, but you also got to reflect on how you did on the first 12. Did you get any depth whatsoever? Who's your best person, Maddie, that you have going?
Right now, I have 7 people direct to me. 3 are producing as of this month, and then Ryan has depth. And I just brought on some more people, and they already brought on depth, and none of them are producing yet.
What's your agent number?
535-225.
I like my arc. Cuts through a lot of gibberish. Madison Sierra, no?
You got it. Full government name for everyone.
Who named you?
My parents. Not sure which one.
Why did they pick those words, those names?
Not a clue.
You ought to ask them.
I'll do that.
I did that to Mama. I said, Mama, why'd you pick Angie? I don't know. I reckon I liked it.
Feel like I got a similar answer.
But you might not. It might be something to it. My grandson is named Crawford. That's my wife's dad's name. And it's also the name we picked to name Spencer for his middle name. So he made his kid Crawford. Ridge, we live in a place called Union Ridge, so he's named Ridge after the ridge. Some people think that they're going to start calling him Ridge, not Crawford. I don't know. Some people say they might start calling Cray Cray because it's Crawford, Ridge, Albright, CRA, CRA. See? Cray Cray. All right, so here's her group right here. Ryan Fierro, or how you say that name?
Ferrero.
Right. That's what there's not that many letters. It says
that's right.
Rero.
Yeah, it's Ferrero.
Okay. And Jocelyn.
Yep, we call her Josie.
Cameron. Huh?
Her nickname's Josie.
Josie. I can see that. All right. So do you feel like you painstakingly did this with those three people, Maddie?
Yeah. So the hierarchy you're seeing, Ryan's coming to family reunion. His two downlines are coming to family reunion. I've got a new person, Alex, on there that you can see. He's coming to family reunion. Tony and Josie are all coming to family reunion.
See what I'm saying? Preston just verified what I said. I was hoping I was wrong. Asking to find out if any of the downline of those 68 are coming. Okay. How do you do that? One of the downline under the, so none of the 68, but there is one coming. Maybe you're fishing in a little pond that has nothing but minnows and smart brim in it. So like I fished for a year and the biggest fish I caught was that big. Huh. Didn't think about changing ponds? Or what was you fishing with? I was fishing these little red worms. I go, you ever think about maybe like a plastic worm, like about that right there? You ever thought about a jig? Thought about a net? How about dynamite? You ever thought about dynamite? You know what I mean? It's just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So you say, well, what if I'm that person? Then seek help. Get a psychiatrist. Read sobriety in 30 days. 30-day sobriety solution. Things like this. So what does that have to do with it? This will tell you your priorities are jacked up. So this person, your priorities are jacked up. Then fix them. How you do it? Read books, get a psychiatrist, sociologist, get around the right people, nonstop, spend money, come to events, sit down, ask questions. What am I doing wrong? Here's what I tell people most of the time, Maddie. What was your question, by the way? Remind me.
How to encourage those people or even second depth people to still recruit, even though they're brand new, haven't sold a policy yet.
That's a different question I was answering. I'm glad I clarified that. How do you, okay, this is a great question. So when you hire, like, let's say I hired Danny, who hired Maria, who hired Maddie. I don't look at you like this. I look at you like this. Danny hired Maria, hired Maddie. So if I look at all three of y'all like this, I'll work with the easiest one. I'll resort it. In other words, if I'm 12 deep, I turn it like this, and then I resort it. This is brilliant. I got cold chills. If people don't understand this is how you build a business. You take them, the 12, turn them sideways, and then sort them. So like I will treat number 8 down like they're number 1 over here because they're my favorite, my best, my most potential. I don't treat them like I got to tell Bob to tell Tim to tell Tina to hire Danny to tell Maria to tell you. That'd be dumb when you're right there to my high and left. My high and left is my most important people. So your job is to be high and left to your guy. You want to be high and left with her. You don't want somebody else to be higher and left. Does that make sense? So then,
Sorry, 100%. Yes.
All right. So now you have that conversation with number 8, just like if you hired them. You know the telephone game, Maddie?
Yes.
Okay. So the funny thing is, I think about how long you've been on Earth, and you already know the telephone game. But do you know how many people in their 30s and 40s and they've never heard of the telephone game? This almost makes you want to go like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you know what a telephone game is?
I do.
Tell everybody what it is. Raise your hand if you're not sure what the telephone game is. Raise your hand. You're not. Every one of y'all know what a telephone game is? Patrick's not sure if he knows. Do you think you know? Yeah, the whisper thing. The whisper game. You tell everybody what it is. What is a telephone game? Or do you know?
If I say something to Andy and he says it to Nicole, then bang, bang, then Patrick, it'll be completely jumbled by the time it gets to Patrick.
Especially if it goes through bang, bang.
Right.
See, Maddie, so if you're working 8 down and you do the telephone game, by the time down here, that's why in a hierarchy, you'll see people down in it that are way more focused and concentrated than people up here. Because you find them, you don't make them. And what's happened is you've sorted through a lot of people. You've sorted through tons of people to find that one superstar. So my job, that's a lot of my job is sorting. This weekend, that's what I'm doing. I'm sorting. Preston's giving me data. Patrick's giving me data. President's Club's giving me data. I'm listening. I went out to California and met Danny, and then Maria came to AIT. Other people came to AIT that a lot of them went away from AIT and didn't do anything. They just took all that information and went home and did nothing. But some did. And so I'm trying to watch back and sort who to talk to directly and make sure that painstakingly happens. So it's kind of a never-ending amount of work. That a lot of this, what I'm talking about, I feel like I covered that pretty good at AIT, Maria. Do you remember me talking about that?
Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm.
All right. So, what was the other question I asked people? Said that people could ask. What book? I've not read this book. I'm not endorsing it, but I don't care if you read it. These 2 people are unbelievable, Jack Canfield and Dave Andrews. The 30-Day Sobriety Solution. I just don't want anybody confused and thinking, I'm doing this. I'm out. You with me? But the psychiatry behind it would be interesting. What? Hey, listen, if you don't drink, don't start. And I got more to say, but I'm not going to say it. All right. The other thing that we offered to solution for people, I hope people got this. Somebody should be like, yeah, I tuned in. They're personal tips to finally break free and get moving. Anytime you've been stuck in your life, have you ever been stuck?
Yes.
What'd you do to get free? That's the question. Have you ever been stuck? What did you do to get free?
It worked.
You worked. Maddie, do you have something different than worked?
Yeah, I just poured into myself.
What do you mean poured into yourself?
Yeah, so like obviously we all have a mental muscle. And so whenever you're feeling stuck, if you can work out that mental muscle, though you might not making physical progress, it'll help start those wheels, start that engine up, get you moving forward, and then it'll kind of flow. Everything else will keep going.
Are you talking about self-talk or audio, or what are you talking about?
Pretty much all the above. Positive self-talk, reading things that are going to help me get unstuck when it comes down to changing my mindset, changing my approach, maybe even my perception on what I'm thinking about, whatever the stuck problem is. and also just being physically like present in the moment.
How about you, Maria?
Well, when I get stuck, I kind of go into a space of gratitude. Just kind of like try to be grateful for, the opportunity that I have, and then go back to like my vision and go back to like why I'm doing this. And that keeps me going.
Hey, what are y'all going to do when we have a breakout? We say either stay here, go with admin. The admin people are going over to this office. So if you're Diane Lampy's admin or Joe Dukes' admin, what's your name? Emily. Emily, you got to go with them. This admin's going over there, and then they go Hispanic only. You could have like no 2 Spanish words, still go to the Spanish meeting. We're going to go to a Mandarin breakout. You could go to the Mandarin breakout and learn Chinese. So the question is, when you're forced to choose between stay here, which is Jeff Bright, and then me, and then somebody else, or you're going to go over there and hear from a Docky, a Bridget, or Ryan Chang. What are y'all going to do when the decision time is made? Are you just going to be like, oh, or what are you going to do when it comes to that part of the meeting? What are you going to do, Maria? You going to Hispanic?
I definitely want to go into the Hispanic, but
Where else would you go?
but I'd communicate with my upline and see where they think that I should kind of head into as well.
I like that. You ought to text him now and see what he says. All right. So Jeff Bright, me, and then Clay Mertaz. That's going to be where stay here people. That means you're not Creole, you're not Hispanic, you're not Chinese, you're not Nigeria or Tudu or Togo or Ivory Coast. I just like knowing all those countries exist. I feel like people go, he's smart. He knows different countries. He's not. All right. And Chang, Hannah, who I met in Atlanta the other day, and then Jeff Bright. So you're going to get to see Jeff Bright in the stay here meeting and in the Chinese meeting, in the Mandarin meeting. Huh? What?
Makes all sense to me.
It makes perfect sense to me. What you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You don't speak Spanish or Chinese, so what are you gonna do? You gonna sit with us, or are you gonna venture off into one of these specialty markets?
There's only one right answer.
It's not really a right answer to it. I'm really just curious.
I'd stay here.
You gonna stay with the stay here group? Maddie, how about you? What are you gonna do?
I love our Jeff Bright calls, and I also want to get closer to you, Andy, so I will definitely be sitting my butt right there, and I will be front and center, ready to listen.
It's a tough answer. But I did like what Maria said about checking up line. That was, y'all should have threw that in, check up line. You should definitely do that. I feel like we've accomplished a lot, Danny. You feel like we've done a lot? Oh, yeah. So, you want me to hold that for you?
Yeah.
So,
Why'd you do that?
because something about it reminded me of something else that was going to be very critical to the in Andy Andrews' book, someone is testifying, and it's a young lady, and the judge asks her a question, and she nods her head, and the judge said, "Young lady, my stenographer cannot interpret a nod onto his paper."
Oh. See where you got that from?
So, Maddie, you understand, I like her. She's smart. She's young. She's got personality. She's quick-witted. So when you find a person like that, if you can really get into the little things and fix them, later on, when it becomes a big punch bowl, the turds are not so standoutish and blemish it. You with me? You can fix them when they're young. Then when they get bigger, you don't have to deal with that. Does that make sense? So
Yes.
the mic thing, and there's so many things that young people do that annoy the what out of me. Like here's one. Text means text. Talks to means talk to. Can you explain to them what I mean by that?
Text is nonverbal, talk is verbal.
That's not a complete explanation, but people are starting to get the idea. A lot of times when I did that, I talked to him yesterday, and then next thing I find out, they didn't talk to him. They texted him. He said, what difference does it make? It makes a lot. That's like telling me, when the light turns red, that's when you go. And then you go, what difference does it make? Well, I'll tell you. Because if the other people have conflicting information, you're going to get what's called a T-bone. That's why I need to know the difference in text and talk. Black, red, green, yellow, one way, wrong way. Don't you hate it when you pull up to a sign that says wrong way and you're thinking, is this the wrong way or is that the wrong way? Because you know what I mean? Like it's a communication problem with the signs. I've got a couple of places like that around Burlington. And I always just, it's like talking to some of my downline. Confusing. You feel like we've cleared some of the confusion in the air? And you feel like you guys can proceed stronger and harder now based on this last few minutes?
Yes.
Yes? What do you think you're going to do different? Anything differently, or is it just reiterated what you already knew?
I view my business different in the way of, instead of driving depth, they're equal in the fact that you can rank them differently.
That's information to you. That was new. That was good. If anybody else got that too, then I did a lot of work here. That's exciting. Did it change your perspective, Maddie?
Yes, 100%. I definitely appreciate that perspective.
Don't get me excited. I'll get on that subject again. Watch this, Maddie. Let's say if the fifth person down is really good, and this is the first person, you're above that person. If this person does everything right, like they have the audio right, I love this business. It's a great business. And they sit on the front row and they just, this is my seat. Don't try to make me move. And then they got their notepad and say, you're up here. And there's like 4 people in between and they're not doing this. If you become tighter with this person right here, it's like, see how, look, see, can you see how that rubber band, that's not a thick one. See how it's like kind of thin, kind of googly or whatever? That's the way most business look. But if you can get it tight like that, you see how the 2 lines moved in closer to each other? Yeah. So what happens is, if these 2 are in tight communication, it pulls the other people to get lined up and do the right thing. And if they stay out there, then what happens is you get closer to them and they are out here in the peripheral. Not needed and not seen is not a good place, because then you get left out. Now, think about this, Maddie. If you can only pick, like if you're me, or you, we can hire as many people as we want and pick from it. Imagine if you're a basketball coach. How many scholarships do you get? So you got usually like have 11 on the bench or 13 jerseys. Well, what if you can only work with 13? You don't want to work with some of the worst people in the whole university that can't play basketball. You want to whittle it down to the best 13 people that can play. So in your hierarchy, it's the same thing. You might have 400 people, but you know who's your best 13 or best 12. Or, does that make sense? And you don't look at how deep they are. So who's the best that you've ever hired? And then who's the best you've ever hired? Because I've had very few successful hires, very few. But I've also got very few successful people. But it's not. I mean, it's hundreds of people making multiple hundred thousands. But if you got more, so the other thing was you ask a question, Maddie, you get me started, and then you ask another question, and it takes it to another level. Here's the biggest problem, Maria, with most people. I can't never get off of reminding them to read books because they have not nailed that down. But once you nail this down, I don't have to think about that same thing over and over again. If I have to repeat the same problem, explain that to you over and over again, I'm going like, I can't keep doing this. Hold that up. But you see what I'm saying about that?
Yeah.
It's just, but with young people don't get offended either when you're like picking on them like that. They get older, they start making these sour faces. Like, oh, God. Jeez Louise. Maria, helpful?
Yes, very. And I haven't had like my legs kind of building, but now that's something I got like a nugget that's what I got to do.
Yeah.
So.
You feel like you're communicating and selling your people on networking, Maria? Texting?
I'm definitely, it's a process. Like I'm getting better. I think at first I was really scared to even text anybody about it. But Brian told me like, you can't focus. You're making it about yourself. You can't do that. You got to pull yourself out of it. Like this is sharing an opportunity.
See, what Brian did is he got through to her. It'd be like in tag team wrestling. And let's say I've been working on her left knee and I've just elbow dropped it, top ring ropes, but she's still hobbling around on it. And then Rojas with his big ass, he just falls right on it. Wham! And then she's like, but Rojas, you broke it. But I got it weak. You see what I'm saying? Right. Because like I'm working on her on networking, right? She's coming with all this bullshit excuses, right? I'm not friends and they think about me scheming, right? And Rojas comes in there, hits her with, you can't make it about you. Just penetrate it. Got her mind right. And she starts doing it.
Yep.
Does it make sense? Tag team wrestling.
Yeah. And I think I had to build that connection.
Huh?
I felt like I had to build that connection with him. And after I built this, like that trust is there. So I just like, he tells me something. Yeah. Yeah.
What you do? All right. I was really scared. I was talking to one of my recruiters yesterday, and she didn't know who Ric Flair was. I got nervous. Whoa. Well, if you're going to be able to do this thing, you're going to Ric Flair. So we're going to just give her some YouTubes and old information. It's just like a telephone game. They don't know the telephone game. You got to question them, but then you got to explain it to them. Oh, by the way, you should talk to your team, managers. Next time you do a meeting, you should do a telephone game to make sure everybody understands how big a disaster it's going to be. Okay? So like I'm going to whisper something to Danny, and then she's going to tell Jeff, who's going to tell Noel, who's going to tell Emily, who's going to tell Nicole. And then when it gets to Joe, Joe's going to tell Mary, and it's going to go to, what's that girl's name? Savannah, who's going to tell Patrick, who's going to tell Chambers, who's going to tell Kat, and then Kat's going to tell us the answer. You ready? All right, y'all don't need to see this. We're going to do it without y'all, but we'll let you know how the results. And if you don't know already how the results turn out, you're not smart. I'm not kidding you. It's like you're playing a game and you tell people this is the answer, and they say things like, well, let me tell you how I feel about it. I don't care how you feel about it. All the psychiatrists, famous sociologists, all the books, the stars and the gods already gave you the answer. Why do you feel like you got to have an opinion? You're going to be wrong. Does that make sense? What? Arrogance and brokenness in one package. All right, so here's the way it's going to work out. I'm going to tell y'all. When it gets to Kat, what she says will have nothing to do with what I told her. Nothing. You go, well, if they're all careful, you are a moron. If you think that's the way it's going to work out. You've never played the game, and you got no foresight. But it's a good thing you got an opinion. You can keep that and your rear end. Okay? Everybody happy? Love y'all. Thanks for plugging in. It's helpful.